Hey everyone, welcome back to Star Flag Media Gaming. My name is Anthony. Today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, all of the leaks that happened over the last week, and even take a look at some hands-on time with the Switch 2 mockup. Now, this comes from a user, NerdNest on YouTube, so YouTuber NerdNest, who seems to have gotten an actual dummy, the actual 3D printed version of the Nintendo Switch 2, the actual size. It comes with the glass, comes with separable Joy-Cons, which we're going to get into in just a second here. Right after some of these leaks, and he had it on his desk for weeks, it looks like, and he didn't even know that what he had in his hands was actually pretty intricate. It was actually real. Now, in the video, he mentions that it came from a third-party accessory manufacturer that he had previously worked with before, and he didn't think much of it. So he said, yeah, sure, if you're going to send me this mock-up, then, whatever, go ahead and send it. And he just let it sit there. And then all of a sudden, in the last week or so, all the Switch news exploded all over the internet. First with D-Brand showing off their case. They make cases for like Steam Deck, Lenovo Go's, things of that nature. And then of course, after that came the Reddit leaks with all of the specs and dimensions. And then finally, we have another third-party manufacturer coming out with the Joy-Con grips that showed off the Joy-Cons as well. So here we're going to be taking a look at the video in parts, and we'll kind of just clip the biggest parts that I enjoyed, and then I'll come back and kind of react to that and give my opinion, and then hopefully you guys enjoy this video. But yeah, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at this.
I wasn't really sure if I wanted to make this video. I went back and forth about it because I wasn't sure how realistic this would be. But a few weeks back, a company reached out to me that they make cases for video game hardware like the Steam Deck and that kind of thing. And it's a company that I've worked with before. It's iVoller. All right. They reached out to me and they said, hey, we have a model of the Nintendo Switch 2 and we would love for you to have one. Do you want it? And I replied to them, yeah, if I make a video about the Switch 2, I'll gladly, show this model off in the video. No big deal. Go ahead and send it if you want. It arrived and I opened it up and I was like, holy cow. Okay, this is way more interesting than I thought, because I was just anticipating getting a big slab of plastic, because that's how you get these models. It's a big plastic 3D printed slab, right? But no, take a look at this. This is the Nintendo Switch 2 model from iVoller. Whether or not it's legitimate or not, I will leave it up to you, and I'll talk about why I do think it's legitimate in a little bit. But I mean, look at this. It has glass. There's glass on it.
So we know it's legitimate now with all of the leaks that have come out, which is just amazing. But yeah, let's continue.
It's going to be a 3D printed thing. And then the Joy-Cons, they come off and they clip back in with a magnet. And I was like, okay, that is way more interesting than I originally thought it was going to be. So suddenly my likelihood of making a video was higher. But then I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to talk about rumors and speculation for this, so maybe I'm going to hold off. And this has been sitting on my desk for a couple weeks at this point. But then I saw the leaks from D-Brand. And I looked at those leaks from D-Brand, and they matched what I have here on my desk almost perfectly. Other than the D-Brand leaks, I believe, showed a red and blue set of Joy-Cons, and these Joy-Cons are white. That was really the only difference between the two. So I was very, very interested suddenly in making a video about that, which is why you're watching this now. So let's talk about what I've got with this model for the Nintendo Switch. Now, iVoller is not sponsoring this video. They're not going to see it ahead of time. They don't get to tell me what to say or anything like that. But one thing that they did say after the fact, and I could have just said no, but I like their stuff, and so I decided to say yes. They wanted me to show off their case. So here's their Nintendo Switch 2 case, and there's a link down below if you want to learn more about it. But it's a case. It's not anything fancy or anything. You just open it up. It fits the Nintendo Switch 2. It's got a little cover to cover up the glass, and then you can zip it closed. And that all seems great. At the leak from dbrand, and it was very, very similar to what I was seeing with the one that I had in hand here. So I thought I would show it off on screen and talk about what are the differences between this and the Nintendo Switch, and what do I think of it. So let's put it on screen so that we can take a look, because everything that I'm seeing on this is extremely similar to what we're seeing on the dbrand leak. So first off, let's talk about the Joy-Cons. Let's look at the right Joy-Con first. There we go. Here's the right Joy-Con, and the right Joy-Con has our home button right there. Let me zoom in on this. It has our home button right there. It also has a C button right there. And then it's got our face buttons and the plus button. You can see right here, we've got our ZL and our ZR. Those are those little buttons that you would hold if you're holding this sideways and playing like this. And then if you flip it over, we have our bumper and our trigger. The trigger doesn't look like it has a whole lot of throw to it. So I am assuming that this is also a digital trigger, just like the original Nintendo Switch, because there's absolutely no throw there. Now, could they put a real trigger on there that had actual throw? I'm sure that they could. But I'm going to suspect that Nintendo is going to ignore the idea of analog triggers, and they're going to stick with digital triggers. Now, if you're paying close attention, you probably also saw there's another little trigger right here. Now, here's my speculation, because we've seen a lot of rumors talking about the Nintendo Switch and the fact that they would have electromagnets, and those electromagnets would be how you would attach the Joy-Con. So first off, how does that work? So if you look right here, you can see on the Nintendo Switch, the body itself, it's got like this deep well, and then the Joy-Con has this big black area right here, and those just snap in. It's, instead of sliding down, it goes into this little socket, and then the magnets hold it in place. And if that's the case, if that's the only thing that's holding it in place is this magnet, which is very, very easy to pull apart, then I think that that's a horrible design. But if you look right here, we've got this extra little trigger. And that trigger, I'm assuming, is the way that we remove the Joy-Con from the unit itself. So I would pull on this trigger right here, and it would disengage some kind of lock, and then I'd be able to pull it off. Now, this is not a real Nintendo Switch. This is just a big dummy unit, and I'm a big dummy, so that's my thoughts on how that is going to attach. And honestly, it feels pretty good. You're holding it in your hand, being able to take it off quickly without having to worry about that sliding thing getting weaker over time. I think that's
exactly how they're going to detach. Everything in the threads prior to this video said that the Joy-Cons detach with that third button on the back, and it's near the top, near the triggers. So he's absolutely correct. This is spot on with all of the leaks that we've seen before. Pardon me. And yeah, that's how you're gonna detach. It's gonna be an electromagnet. You push those buttons, and it detaches the Joy-Cons from the Switch too. Let's continue.
Good. Let's take a look at the left Joy-Con. The left Joy-Con looks just like the left Joy-Con on the regular Nintendo Switch. The big difference is it's just a little bit taller. It has our minus button. It's got our thumbstick. It's got our D-pad, which is split into 4 buttons. And then we've got our capture button right there. On the back, pretty much the same thing. We've got I'm assuming the release button and the trigger and the bumper. And if we pull that off of there, you can see that we've got these little buttons right here. Let me bring this up so you can see it. We've got these little buttons right here, which are our ZL and our ZR. Now, if you look right here, we've got these, and I'm not sure what these are, but I would guess that maybe that's where like the locking mechanism will lock into place, but that remains to be seen. All right, so now let's take a look at the top of the Nintendo Switch. You see over here, we've got our power button, and then we've got our volume rocker. It looks to me like this is gonna be our headphone jack right there. Then this, I'm guessing, is maybe a microphone. And then we've got our air vents to expel air out of the top of the system. Well, actually, maybe this is the headphone jack. I'm not sure. One of these is definitely a headphone jack, and I don't know which one. And then over here, we've got our USB-C port, and then the slot for the Nintendo Switch cartridges, which looks around the same size as a traditional Switch. So let me set that down and put the Nintendo Switch next to it. And actually, if we look at the top, yeah, this is probably the headphone jack right there, because there's our headphone jack on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know what this is. Maybe that's a light sensor, and that's what we're seeing over here. I can't remember. I've not used my Nintendo Switch in a really long time because I've just been playing games on my Steam Deck or my PC instead, or my PlayStation. But there's the two next to each other. Let's put the regular Switch aside for now, and we're going to flip over and take a look at the bottom of the Nintendo Switch 2. And you can see here, sorry for the cat hair, you can see here that we have another USB-C port on the bottom. So now the Nintendo Switch has two USB-C ports. So let's take a second and speculate about why would the Nintendo Switch have two USB-C ports. And I'm going to see a bunch of people that are thinking about accessories and that kind of thing. But I got to be honest with you, I think that Nintendo is only going to be doing, the bottom port is to dock it, and the top port is to charge it, and the bottom port is to charge it. So like you could charge it in either, and I don't see them putting a bunch of extra crap and the USB-C port on the top. The one thing that I would say that I might speculate about is maybe it would be so that you could have USB-C headphones, because a lot of us have USB-C headphones these days for our phones. If we don't have wireless headphones, very few phones these days actually have headphone jacks, and they know that a lot of people get their headphones from when they buy their phone or something like that. Not everybody's walking around with expensive headphones, and so a lot of people are just they're stuck with USB-C. So maybe that's so you can plug USB-C headphones in the top, although I have to be honest, for me, I would prefer to plug things like that in the bottom. I still personally think that the top is just for charging, but we'll see. All right, let's do a quick size comparison. Both systems on screen at the same time, and here we go. You can see it right now. You can see the Nintendo Switch 2 is a good deal larger than the Nintendo Switch 1.
So before you do the size comparison here, I believe the USB-C at the top, it will be for headphone jacks, and I think it might even allow for docking without a dock. So perhaps USB-C to an HDMI cord, something along those lines. It might even allow for something like that, where you may not be able to take your dock everywhere you go, and it may come with some kind of a cable, or you may be able to purchase a cable that will allow you to dock from the top of the Switch. But yeah, a USB-C headphone jack is probably it's probably what we're going to be looking at as far as what the top USB-C port is. But I am interested to find out. Nintendo, you just, if you think you got them figured out, we really don't. Let's go on. He's about to compare some sizes here, and it really is quite a big jump because he's comparing it to the OLED model of the Switch, which we already know is a bigger model than the OG Switch. Yeah, let's continue.
This is the OLED Nintendo Switch, by the way. So this has that. I don't remember how big the Nintendo Switch screen is, but I think the original Nintendo Switch was 6.3, and then they went up to a 7-inch screen on the Nintendo Switch OLED. So this looks to be like an 8-inch screen. Actually, let me go get a tape measure and I'll find out. Yeah, so if I'm measuring this, it looks to be about 7.9 or maybe 8 inches diagonal for the Nintendo Switch 2, which I think is pretty good. Now, when I look at this dummy, the thing that I notice about it is that it is very, very skinny. It's about the same thickness as the Nintendo Switch. So let me take the Joy-Cons off of both systems, and we'll put them side by side on screen here. And you can see that they are roughly the same thickness. Like, that is almost identical. So what are they going to have problems with? Well, number one, they'll have problems with heat. So that means that they're going to probably thermally throttle the Nintendo Switch 2 when you are playing in handheld, because they don't want to have to worry too much about heat. Secondly, it's very thin, so the battery in it's not going to be very big. Again, the Nintendo Switch is a 7-year-old device, and when it actually launched, it was already...
So now he's getting into a lot of speculation. So we're gonna pause there in the video. If you want to check out the rest of that video, I'm gonna leave the link in the description below to NerdNest. And let me tell you, it is a great video. I wish he would have put this video out weeks sooner. I think it would have been, a bombshell of news for his channel. And it's sad. It's sad that he missed that boat. But I guess he's got his niche. He's got his own. I'm just starting with my channel. I've only got 3.5 subs so far, but hopefully with you guys we get up to 4 soon. He's up to nearly 80,000 subscribers, so he must know what he's doing. But yeah, I loved that he has a hands-on actual physical version of what the Switch 2 will be like. Honestly, I'm a little hyped. We saw that it's bigger. So, even though it's the same thickness as far as the Switch 1 is concerned, or the OLED model even, we know that it comes with updated Tegra chips, and that those chips can perform up to a Series S, more or less. And what they're saying with the DLSS and the upscaling that's coming, it'll probably get to that easily. Definitely more powerful than the PS4 Pro, and probably in lines with the Xbox Series S, which honestly would be great if they can do the AI upscaling or DLSS upscaling to 2K 1440p docked with some games hitting 60 frames. That would be amazing. I believe they're going to be shooting for 1080p undocked 30 frames, and probably 1440p docked 30 and 60 frame variable, depending on the game and how stressful it is. But anyway, let me know what you guys think with the latest leaks for Nintendo. Nintendo's been going through it the last couple of weeks, guys. It's incredible how much information on the Switch 2 has come out when it's not even out. I've never seen any of their consoles leaked in this way, shape, or form. But yeah, I'm very interested to find out. Are you guys excited for the Switch 2? What do you guys think about that demo, that demo unit he's got in his hands? Leave a comment below. I'm really interested in that. And as always, I want to thank you guys for being here. Please share, please like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And we'll catch you guys next time.